All right, what is up, everybody? ShouScout0013 here, coming in with another video this week. This time talking about the unit cards, and we were able to get through a lot. Well, I should say, we got through all the factions, but we still haven't gotten through the upgrade or command card. So we're going to come out with another video soon with them. And I just kind of wanted to go over the giveaway still, which is Veers. If you are not interested in listening to this, you could just hop into the description and skip to where we start talking about everything. But if you're interested in winning a Veers, which now, if we just take a look real quick, he's a lot better. Way better. I mean, and we'll talk about him for a second. But yeah, if you are interested in him, all you got to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment down below, and that'll get you entered in to win. The second way to be entered in to win is to join the Discord. And so all you got to do is, be a member and start talking. What I do is I just go down to the server level, and I have made a note of each person that has popped up on here since the very, very beginning of the giveaway. And yeah, you're entered in to win that way. So yeah, if you want to talk about Gar, if you want to talk about list ideas, if you want to see some fun stuff that Canadian Bear and all of the other guys put together, 10 activation Wookiee list that is Impact and Pierce 10 all together, 10 activations, 999. Man, some of these are a lot of fun, and I think you're going to really enjoy the video today. So yeah, that's another way to be entered in to win, and another way, and the last way to be entered in to win, is to head on over to the Patreon and become a member. You don't necessarily have to be a paid member or a paying member to get entered in to win, but if you do become a member and you sign up, it does help the channel grow. It really helps with the giveaways, and it really just kind of helps to me be able to up what we can give. So just, feel free, and you get your name shouted out at the very end. But yeah, that is all of the different ways to enter in to win. So yeah, we'll go ahead and basically start talking about what's going on. Thanks, guys. All right, what is up, everybody? So, ShouScout0013 here with the whole crew. We have Graham up top.
Up.
We've got Grant over here in the middle.
What's up?
We have Kyler over there in the corner. And then we've got the chosen one, Anthony, over here, right next to me.
B1s are back, baby.
Yeah. And today we're going to go over all the cards, all the new unit cards, and the new units, the Crab Droids, the Sleeper Cell, and the Right Control Squad at the end, and kind of just give you our thoughts and what is new. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into it. The new Leia Organa, she's got Take Cover 2, which is the same. Exemplar, which is brand new for her. It was a clone Gar keyword, and now it is for the leaders of the rebellion. And she's got Inspire 2 still, Nimble, and Sharpshooter. And then you've got Luke Skywalker with Jump 1, Block, which is different. So now he can just spin that dodge to gain Surge to block. He's got Charge, Immune to Pierce, Inspire 2, which is new as well. And then Sharpshooter 1, which is really nice. And his gun changed, and so did his lightsaber. So do you guys have anything to say about those two?
Oh,
I also
really, really
Sorry,
sad we're missing out on Pierce 2. That went away on not just his blaster, but also his lightsaber. So, we got some different dice pools. Like, I definitely think his lightsaber has improved a lot, but losing out on that second Pierce for both kind of feels bad.
Yeah, I know that Leia's gun also changed. It went from, I think, 3 black to 3 red, and she's still got Sharpshooter 2 Surge to crit.
Yeah. Well, she lost her Pierce on her blaster, too. She had Pierce and then upgraded dice, downgraded to no keyword.
Yeah, it's going to be mathy wise, it's going to be effectively Pierce-ish kind of feeling, because 3 red dice with Surge to crit with the Sharpshooter 2 means you're not going to get a cover save. So if a heavy cover unit or a light cover with suppressed, right, is going to have block 1 and 3, right? And so you can kind of think about her negating the chance to RNG get a couple cheeky blocks, right? Because then those things don't get pierced. Like that's cover save, right? So in some senses, you have to kind of like weigh her, at least for her, and to a certain extent Luke, right? Because he's got sharpshooter 1 with pierce 1, so math wise it might be about the same. But I do think that it is a little bit of a shame because my personal preference is that all of our heroes should feel impactful. When you roll their dice, you should feel like you always get some kind of outcome. And his inability to, well, I guess he still has the pierce one, but like for her, the inability to clearly just say, okay, I'm gonna take out at least a guy, right? Or something to that effect. A little bit of a shame. I think, gaining exemplar though, maybe that makes up for it, right? Because take cover 2, exemplar, inspire 2, a lot of good keywords going on. You know, you're probably not going to want to share her dodge because she's got nimble and you don't want her to get shot. But there might be a world where you're just take cover dodge on her because she's in a good spot and you just like the value of that, and you're okay with sharing one of them away. I think you can also give her equipment to give her a take cover 3, isn't that right? With the if you give her the equipment slot.
Portable scanner.
Yeah, so there's worlds where you play her as more of a battery and you're just like using the blaster when you just have to kind of get a little bit more damage in. But so I think net positive for Leia, but I think that it's also a little bit of a shame that they didn't give her agile. I would have loved to see agile and nimble on her. And that's just, because then I think that that's going to open up the play style of playing her like aggressively and stuff. But Luke Skywalker though, I think he's kind of just like better in some ways and worse in some ways, and so I think again, for both of these cards, I think Rebel players are probably net happy, but maybe wishing for just a smidge more.
Yeah, because
and they did both get a training slot too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to just mention. I think he lost a 4 slot and gained a training slot this time.
I think that's a better. I think that's a better slot for him, given that force push is now 40 points. You're probably you weren't gonna take it before. Now you'll just probably take bursts of speed. You got jump, burst of speed. You have the ability to just activate one turn and get him in there when he needs to. Otherwise, he stays with a decent blaster with sharpshooter 1, and he's like plinking away. Long shot is also kind of nice, so I guess you could do it from range 3. But I do think that the game is going to become far closer. I think range 2 is going to be really, really, really played a lot more than it used to be because of our ability to speed to move and cover a range band.
All right. Anything else on those two? Because we'll go ahead and get to R2 and keep going.
He was one of the few Jedi. Him and Maul both saw 30-point decreases versus most of the rest of the Jedi just saw like a 20-point decrease. So makes it feel a little bit better knowing that, although he did lose one of the 4 slots, he also became that much more cheaper on top of the rest of the people too. So hurts a little bit less taking force push.
And of course, I think that the operative Luke is still going to be the preferred Luke if you're playing Luke. So they had to make him appealing on cost, right? When you're like, I can't afford operative Luke, but at least I get Luke, so that's cool.
All right, and then we have R2D2, and R2's got Repair 2, Capacity 2, like always, Inconspicuous, Infiltrate, and Secret Mission. And I know that we talked about yesterday how Secret Mission has changed. It is now at the end of the round that he's in there, he's going to basically score. But if he's in there and he gets shot, you're not scoring. It's a little bit different than the bounty keyword. So, that's just a small change. The Rebel Officer now has the Exemplar as well. Still take cover 1 and inspire 1. And I think that's basically... did he have Sharpshooter before?
He did. So he lost Sharpshooter and gained Exemplar, but then he also added, instead of a black and a white, now he rolls 2 black.
Yeah, that's
There's
nice.
not a lot to say about the card, but it is a net gain for him. I don't think that there's anybody who's going to be complaining about the Rebel officer gaining exemplar and losing. You could lose the rest of his card, honestly, because you're probably just going to aim dodge with him and chill. He's got 4 HP of white saves. He is not shooting. He's like, if he's shooting, something bad has happened. So exemplar is going to be the ticket there. I think this is a fantastic change for him.
I just also realized, because we didn't mention this yesterday, secret mission is no longer a free action, it's just automatic. Like, you just automatically trigger as soon as you enter an enemy territory. So that's nice for all the people that would forget to say, I'm doing secret mission.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Neat.
I don't think I would have ever remembered. All right, so we do have the core. So the core is the Rebel Trooper. They have Agile 1 now and Nimble. So every time they move, they're going to gain a dodge, and then they're going to be able to keep that dodge. So that's actually, I think, what they really needed, at least. And then the Fleet Troopers have Charge instead of Steady, but their gun is actually being able to be used in melee now. So they also get the 2 dice at range and in melee, and they surge. And I think you can actually, and we'll go in later and talk about this, the unit can now have like an infantry squad. So you're going to be able to shoot like, what, 20 dice or something like that? It's like, because, yeah,
I haven't done the math on that one.
you're going to be able to shoot 18 white dice and 2 red with their heavy at range 2. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You've got the FD laser cannon, which is, the same thing, except now it has prepared position. So you're going to be able to set it, I think, outside of your deployment zone or outside of your territory, anywhere in a gain to dodge. And then you've got the Rebel veterans. The biggest change is the prepared position and the fact that they are speed 1 at this point, but that's literally about it. So that is basically your core command, or your Rebel core. Do you guys have anything to say about the core there?
Yeah, I just like to post a picture. I was curious what those Rebel would do, and I just went and tested it. So if anybody wants to know how good they are, there's your answer. I don't know if you can show that on stream.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is
I
great. What are you talking about? Without a
I
name?
promise you, I clicked one time. So there you go. So
Don't worry,
that's
use
what
my
that's what you
name
can that's what you guys can expect out of Fleet Troopers. Okay, so
one
That's-
thing also to note, because we're going to see this later on too, shotguns, excluding Black Sun, since they weren't looked at all in this iteration of the changes, have all been changed to melee as well. So you get
Nice.
Pierce 1 in melee at least, and 2 red dice in melee still.
I'll dodge both of them and be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anakin's going to be loving the Fleet Troopers coming his way. All right, we've got some special forces. We have the Rebel Commandos. They have a detachment, Rebel Commando, just like strike team, and you're going to be able to put the snipers on them. They still have low profile, Scout 2, Sharpshooter 1. Now, the detachments don't count towards your max, so you could technically have the 3 full Rebel Commandos and then 3 strike teams, and that's going to be your 3 special forces. You've got the ATRT now, which is Armor 2 instead of full armor. It's a climbing vehicle still, Expert Climber, Scout 1, just kind of like the old Republic ATRT, and it has white saves but surges. So I don't know if that was a change or not. And it still surges to crit, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, the surge to block was kind of their way of saying sorry for taking away your armor.
And we'll give you the old clone one. Here you go. We'll recycle it.
Yeah,
We'll cycle
but
it.
clones now get red saves because
Yep.
they have armor on top of their ATRT. They're still wearing their armor.
And then we have the T-47 Airspeeder, which is now Armor 3 instead of full armor. Arsenal 2, which is the same. Cover 1, immune to blast, melee, and range 1 weapons. And then speeder 2, 3 red, 3 black still, fixed front, impact 3, surge to crit. I don't think there's any changes there except for the armor. You have the land speeder.
Well, I was just gonna say that this is the one where the armor nerf, whatever, is gonna be felt the most. I've noticed that there is no armor 4. If I was scrolling, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. There's nobody with armor 4.
Correct.
This is one of the vehicles where I think there's a really good case for having armor 4, because it used to be full armor and they were still kind of paper feeling, because like any crits you got into them, any amount of impact felt really, really punishing to you. And now you can just do a medium-sized dice pool and also get the same effects as impact. So I think these guys suffered quite a bit. So T47 stocks are down for me.
Yeah, it's not fun. Because, they I felt like they always did die pretty quick. But at least the cover 1 makes up for it, you think? No, toss up.
A lot of sharpshooter running around there in the game too right now. So they may be cover 0 most of the time. I know for my ARC troopers they're gonna just shred them, because I'm gonna be throwing all those double black dice pools with Pierce into it, right? And sharpshooter, ignore your cover. Cool, you got 3 blocks, make 5 saves. Oh, you made 2, Pierce 1, take 4. You're broken. Like it's like, yeah. So anyway, sorry,
well, at least
Rebels.
it doesn't feel so bad not having any impact, at least, because if you don't have impact and you've got big dice pools, at least you've got a chance of taking it down.
Yeah. For some reason, a Dark Trooper is getting red saves, and a actual airspeeder is getting white saves. So
that's Empire for you. Woo!
Empire always feasting.
Yes. And then now we have the land speeder. The land speeder is armor 2, arsenal 3, cover 1, and speeder 1, and it's lost the transport. Not that the transport really meant anything in this one, but
hey, Han Solo being scooted around was pretty cool. IG on the yeah. There was some cool things. Or R2D2.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. You can treat the thing, right? Just like, hey, like, keep it alive, and then just throws you downfield, gets your secret mission. Can't do it anymore.
Sure is always giving you suppression, forget the dodge. Is one other change in Rebels. Just that Biston got critical 1 on his gun. So now you have a second chance to trigger Ion instead of just the impact 1. Yeah, there's something.
I think they added critical 1 to most of the Ion weapons, right?
Yeah, most of the Ions, yeah.
Yeah.
It's either that or they added impact just to make sure.
Right.
Good.
And then Ion is worse, so, I guess swings and roundabouts.
It's more back in line than worse.
Yeah.
And then we've got the AA5 last, unless you had anything else to add to the airspeeder stuff.
No, I was just gonna say the losing transport, I guess, is also not as, like, with the new rules, maybe isn't so much of a nerf, and that segues us into the AA5, I think.
Yeah, so the AA5 is the only transport, I think, now for Rebels. And it is armor 5, hover ground, reposition. So you can, at the beginning, so if I'm not mistaken, so notched base ground vehicles can pivot before their actions, then do their action, and then if they need to pivot again, they can, right? So, like, the free reposition is in the very, very beginning, right?
That's how I see it from the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, you may do it twice with a reposition vehicle. You basically get the free 90-degree one, and then you do your move, and then you basically get a free 90-degree one at the end of it as well.
Okay.
So if you needed to just move over like a little bit, there's a world where you take the tool, you bend it 90 degrees like that, right? So you you turn the bus sideways, right? And then because of the way the notch base is, you can bend the tool 90 degrees, which then faces it back, and then you can, like, correct yourself. So you basically move from here to here, right? Like it's a type of movement that you couldn't really do very well before, and you could just, I don't know. There's some weird things that happen now with the free extra reposition, but there's been people talking about it. The real crazy thing with this thing is going to be just the fact that you don't get to deliver a payload of angry Wookiees into your opponent's lines anymore.
No. So the transport, I think we kind of talked a little bit about it in the last video. It's just the use for a scouting move at this point. There's really, and you can't, I guess, embark.
It's like
anymore,
a 16-inch move. Yeah, it's something like 16 inches, which is insane. Like that's a lot of movement that you're throwing in the start of the game for a unit, but it's just a one and done.
All right, and it's got a repoint 2 in the rear, but with all the repositioning, you're probably not gonna have to worry about that. But that is it for Rebels.
No.
We'll go ahead and jump into Empire now. So we have Director Orson Krennic, who has Spotter 1 now. Thankfully, he's actually useful at this point, like by himself. He's got Compel, which is also pretty nice, but with a Courage 2 commander, that's going to be harder. He does have Cunning still, and Entourage, Imperial Death Trooper, which is pretty great, and he's got Exemplar, which also makes him a little bit more useful. And then his gun is 3 red, which I don't know if that was last time. I think it was a rainbow last time.
It was a rainbow. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a good upgrade for Krennic. We have Veers, who has Guidance, a ground vehicle, which say hello to that ATST getting a free move, free aim, free standby, free everything. I feel like, again, Empire's getting it all. He's got Spotter 2. He's got Exemplar.
Let's be real.
1.
It may as well just say give an ATST standby. Like I don't think anybody knew that it actually said any other words on that card. It just his card says once per round action give an ATST standby. That's what it says.
And load up.
I
that
just
ATST.
I absolutely love the change to his rifle pull because, like, before it was okay, yep, stay in the back, give out your aims, and now jumping from 3 white to 3 red, even though we're losing Pierce, I mean, that's still Sharpshooter 1 and 3 reds at range 1 to 3, surging the crit. Surging the crit natively. That feels good.
Yep, his job is now going to be is now going to be give a standby to the ATST, shoot somebody that's a priority target, rinse and repeat. Spotter 2 may as well not even be on the card. Like you're gonna want to shoot with, like, he's gonna be a good shooter. I guess you could Spotter, like, sure, I guess, give it, because he has Exemplar. There's a world where you're like, hey, I'm gonna give a standby and an aim to the ATST, and I'll take an aim on myself, and then the ATST is gonna steal my aim, so it's gonna have that for the standby that you can't strip, because that's cool.
I mean, it also makes his one hit better with the Exemplar too.
But I think he's going to be shooting a lot more. Is the whole of it. I actually see myself shooting with him probably quite a bit because he's going to be taking out like a guy here and there, like throughout the game, and that's going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
Man, now just
it'll make his 1 pit better. It'll make the Blizzard Force 2 pit better because, oh no, I have these extra aims. What do I do with them on myself? Here, you take them.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, he's not going to use them for himself at all. Is 100% getting shared. Yeah.
And then we have the Imperial Officer with Spotter 1, Exemplar, and Inspire 1. And
Poor
I think everyone's been talking about the new art. That's what I keep hearing. We have...
Yeah. Poor Becky. She's I don't see a world where I'm taking Becky anymore. Veers and Krennic are just so good now. And Krennic's only 65 points, and he's basically doing all the stuff that she did. He's got Spotter 1, got Exemplar. She has Inspire, but he has Compel, which is going to be more relevant most of the time. And he's got 6 health, and she has 4. So you're spending 10 points to get 50% more surviving power. So.
And Cunning.
And Cunning. Cunning may matter. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Becky probably is a miss.
Oh. All right. Well,
I do want to point out that Graham had caught very well that this artwork is actually not new. It is just rinsed and repeated from, was it X-Wing or Armada?
No, I don't remember. But it's definitely. It looks very familiar. If not the actual like art piece, the.
I feel like I've seen it before somewhere. Yeah.
At the very least, it might have gotten like a touch up, and looks nicer. But
Yeah, they got
definitely
James
the
Bond over there in the corner with that Trans-Josen.
Mm-hmm.
But,
It's free real estate.
all right. We do have the Gav tank, which now is Armor 5, Arsenal 2, Reposition, and Open. Well, I guess there's no difference between Open Transport or Close Transport because it's all the same at this point. And weak
Just,
point.
uh,
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying it's just a slingshot. That's all. That transport can just turn into slingshot.
Mm-hmm. And it's still red. It's got the quad cannons, which is still two red, two black. Twin cannon, which is one red, one black. But it does have the ability to have an armament still, which is not too bad.
it does still block line of sight, so
Yeah.
okay, it's still something.
I think this is the one where it's still like, unlike the AA. I think the AA is basically like an, it's just a medic, more it's a line of sight blocking medic. This one actually I think is going to see play. It can potentially slingshot something relevant out front that's durable, maybe like a dark trooper or something who is not going to they're not going to be too worried about getting shot a bunch and gets to activate twice and wants to also be pretty close. So I think Occupier's probably still gonna see some play in specific matchups.
And then now we can talk about the core for Empire. We've got shore troopers, which are my favorite. They have coordinate and placement trooper still and prepared positions, and they have now long shot to their E22 blast rifle and their speed 1. And adding an extra whole infantry squad for 70 points and giving 9 dice long shot is plus a heavy. I mean, that's going to be insane. All black for the most part, dice. You've got stormtroopers, which is precise.
Spunks rising, man.
So what? Oh yeah,
They're going up. I'm buying 6 boxes.
I gotta buy 3 more.
Could you imagine if they didn't take away Target One?
That's
How stupid that would be.
Well, now that you've
I
got,
think at that point they'd be like broken.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have Veers who can spotter and give himself the aim, or spotter 2 to 2
Yeah.
shore troopers take an aim, and then now they've got access to their own aim and an aim from Veers.
What are you talking about? Veers is gonna give 3. They're just gonna give 1 to everybody.
Yeah. And then
Spotter 3.
you can still take targeting scopes on them.
Yeah.
I think you do if you're playing the larger size
Yeah, it's a
unit,
lot more viable
because you spotter 3, that's your long shots for everybody, and then they all aim shoot, right? So I think T-scopes makes a lot of sense. Only if you're gonna go higher than the standard model. If you're just running the heavy, I don't think it matters a whole lot. And that might be a little bit too much. But if you're gonna invest in the extra models, you definitely need to have some rerolls. Like extra rerolls, because those blacks are finicky, right? This is not a non-surging unit, so.
And what's really going to be nice is the detached mortar. So now you're basically going to have 12 core units on the field.
I don't think we talked about that yesterday. Detachment no longer counts towards your minimum or to your requirements. It's just bonus.
Mhm.
Which is
They didn't
also
limit
a nerf in some senses, because I think Rebels were using it for their MK to get to have to run fewer core in some lists, right? They were doing like 2 veterans and then an MK, and that gets your 3 core minimum. So, but with the extra points, I guess we're like, Rebels don't mind. And actually the MK is still pretty darn good, not gonna lie. Like it didn't change, but it was already a good profile. Now and now it's just not counting against your core score. So if you were gonna play a bunch of rebels, yeah, it's probably a net positive.
And
They
so
still have their fire support.
the what?
They still have their fire support, so you can prepare positions, the vets, or your more so for the vets than the shores. And they go out there, they get a dodge, you can put your Mark II out there. If you get an order onto your vets, now your Mark IIs start with a standby
Mm.
at range 3.
And so with detachment, you can place them anywhere on the board, but I'm still assuming that they're deploying, well, taking that first move action anywhere, basically, right? So like you put the tool on the edge of the field, and the detachment just goes anywhere. You don't even have to put it with them or near them.
So they
I'm gonna look
gain either, if it's a detachment unit, they either gain infiltrate or prepare to positions. So you can choose which you want them to do. I don't know really what the difference is there.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they're both
okay.
within your friendly territory. One gives you a
Ah.
dodge, though.
That's gonna be so nice.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
even all the Mark IIs are gonna gain, or the mortars or Mark IIs are now gonna gain prepared positions and a dodge.
Yep.
Oh, good lord. At least it's not a standby. I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
Now we do have stormtroopers. They have precise 1. They have white dice in melee and at range 1 to 3. So I think they decreased from black to white in melee. You've got snowtroopers still having steady. Their melee is also white dice in melee, but that flamer is going to be way more important. And a flamer
Yeah,
with an infantry squad.
I'm bringing spray every list if I can. Just probably one for every list if I can fit it.
I think it's important now because we're going to be seeing a huge Ewok lists, all the infantry squad lists that we can. Just, I'm hearing some things about the infantry squad in shores and other things, and it's not. Oh, it's sounding scary. So, let's prepare for that. Now
and
No, go ahead.
flamers are now melee and range 1, so you don't have to, they decide to run up on you, yeah, that spray is going to be that much more important. And then ion, and for the storms, your HH12, both of those lost their exhaust, so you don't have to sit there and unnecessarily recover with those units anymore.
Now, the heavy response units, the flexible response 2. Did we figure out what that was meaning?
That was
I
on
guess
their
you.
original card.
Okay,
It's
so you
just
can.
saying that you have to have those 2 heavies attached.
It must equip heavies. Yeah, that's what it.
Okay. Precise 1 still only able to be used in Blizzard Force, which why they don't have a Blizzard Force photo, kind of.
It's now a lap that they can't take.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you can't see the snow back there.
Like, where's the snow? Okay, whatever. And then they're still unhindered. The melee profile and all of that stuff is the same as a normal Stormtrooper unit. So that is the Empire Core. Now, some special stuff. We have the E-Web, which is now range 1 to 4, which is with a red, 2 white, 2 black, surge to crit. Still cumbersome. Impact 1 naturally. And then
Not sure why the MK didn't get range 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's literally the same gun. I mean, mostly.
Because Empire.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's
I'm sorry. Rebels always get just a little bit worse than the Empire gets.
Mhm.
EWeb also, that impact is brand new. It didn't used to have impact. On
I was
the
about
main
to
gun.
say.
Yeah, I think you had to take the barrage generator, right, or the impact one.
Yep.
Mm.
So now you get the best of both worlds, suppressive and impact, if you take the generator.
Ooh, but did the
And I think
generator
you
go
do.
up in price?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Way to go, Empire!
Yeah, and also since we were talking about Veers, and we
Yeah.
just talked about some Blizzard Force units, yeah, there's ATSTs in there too, guys.
Oh,
And
also
Commander Vader.
with the EWeb notch base. So notch base
Yeah.
reposition, they're gonna get to do all the little. So the fixed front isn't gonna feel so bad, you know. Because before you used to have to think about the reposition and then do the tool and then you're hoping that they stay in the arc or whatever. But now you're just gonna be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and then I'm gonna turn back. And so you can just completely like move sideways and then still keep your orientation, which I think is gonna be huge for them. So this particular unit, I think, went from being seldom played to probably being like a very good contender. You're going to want like some number of these in a lot of lists.
Makes up for not being able to put them in the back of a Gab anymore.
For real though, because I feel like that's the only place that they really belonged.
That and
n-
Remnant.
And what?
And Remnant.
Hmm.
They were disgusting in Remnant.
Now they're gonna still have independent aim,
Yep.
and still be able to shoot in Remnant. So that's gonna be.
Mhm.
Ah, I need to start upping my Empire stock now. We have Scout Troopers. Some of my favorites. They
Ooh.
have the Scout Trooper, Scout Trooper strike teams now, and they have low profile still. Scout 3, which is really nice. Sharpshooter. They all will still shoot 2 black dice at range 2. So 1 black in melee. Which, I mean, why can't they shoot their EC-17 in melee? It's a pistol. Like, I mean, if you've got the oh my gosh, fleet troopers using their pistols in melee. Okay.
I mean, they shot
Sad.
at Darth Vader. These guys missed that Grogu. Like, I mean, it kind of makes sense. They were trying to shoot
Okay.
that can, and they both missed. So
It's
I mean,
because the blinders. It's like melee. It's just you're just having a hard time. I mean, you're so close, and they can only see what's right in front of them. I mean, so
They have to
Okay.
suffer in one part for Empire, and this is the low-hanging fruit, apparently.
oh, but an interesting change is that you used to be bringing the snipers by themselves, and now you have to pay for a full one first. So that's a relevant change.
Yeah.
But
On
now
top of
it's
the
not just,
increased sniper.
Hmm.
but now it's not just Tempest Force that can take 6 snipers. Now it's any Empire list. So,
This
yeah.
is gonna be fun. I'm so excited for Empire now. Um, now the Dark Troopers. I think this is Kyler's favorite right now. So we have Armor 3 plotting.
Melt them down.
Well, there's only going to be a few of them. What? See, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to
All of
6.
them.
You're
Yeah.
you're gonna be bringing. Let's be real. Anybody who's gonna want to abuse the 200-point increase is gonna realize very quickly that that is just the cost of another pack of Dark Troopers. So you used to bring Gideon and only bring 2 Dark Troopers, and now you just say, oh, actually, I can bring the third one. So now you have 30 health of Dark Troopers. Armor 3 is actually incredibly good. I know it's not full armor, but it's still incredibly good. So yeah, they don't get cover or all that, but it's like they don't care. And yeah, no, these guys are nasty, and I think that they are going to be potentially a problem unit in the coming months. Potentially, we'll have to see how it shakes out, but how big the dice pools get. But these guys are very durable, and red saves. They're getting surges. Gideon gets backup when he's next to them, so that's cool because they got retinue with him. Program loyalty. So yeah, these guys are
fully loaded out Dark Trooper. If you bring the mag launcher over the assault cannon, is 213 points with program loyalty. So yeah, you're.
I mean, you're probably not bringing the extra one model in them. That saves you, I think, 38, was it?
32. So yeah, you go
32?
down to 182, but still having 5 minis that can just magically pop up anywhere after round 2.
Yep, 30 health of red saves, armor 3 across the board, which is going to give you basically old heavy cover low profile. That was already like people would have said if that, like imagine if you're clones, right? If you're playing, imagine old game if you're playing against clones, and imagine if those clones had low profile, right? That's what these guys always have. Okay, they have that. That's the armor 3. So yeah, they nerf the armor, quotation finger. They nerf the armor, and these guys don't care. And yeah, I think they're going to be really, really strong. And people are going to need to be thinking about them when they're building lists and stuff. Like, what do I do into Dark Troopers?
That's pretty scary to think about at this point.
You send those fleets at them. That's what you do. You see them in their art right there.
Yeah, they're gonna do some real.
It'll
damage.
be like that picture. If you just want a reenactment, that's what you do. Holy cow!
Hey man, I've seen some crit white dice. I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those
How these
18
things didn't go up in points is beyond me. But as we've been going through the cards, we didn't mention this yesterday also, but they mentioned in the streams, this isn't like said anywhere, but the card size is increasing because they're doing multi-languages. They were running into issues, I think primarily with German language. So your little upgrade cards at the very least are going to be a different size now.
They're
Oh wait,
all
only the
trading cards.
little ones are going up in size,
At
right?
the very least, I don't know about
Okay.
the unit cards, but definitely
I
the
thought they
upgrades
said
compared
that
to German.
there was going to be like a little tag on them to see if the cards were English only or if they're going to be multi-language. I think I said on the previous or the following day on stream.
Yeah, so the next couple units that we're gonna see as far as the Rebel Sleeper Cell and the Riot are still gonna be the SWL, which is only going to come in the one language, and then moving forward, Crabs Forward are gonna be the SWU, to where they cram all of the languages that they can in there.
Yeah.
Hello, $20 upgrade packs.
Yeah.
Are they going to be tarot sized?
Oh gosh,
wonder.
please no. Please no. Yeah, I don't.
Not giving ideas.
Well, we'll see. I guess.
We got a year.
Yeah. What was the next lat?
Yeah, so we have the Lat now, and the Lat now has Armor 5, Arsenal 2, Cover 1, Hover Air 2, Immune to Blast, Melee, Range 1 weapons, and Transport. It does have 2 ordinances now, which help a lot. It's also got 2 red, 2 black, and Range 1 to 3. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty good transport, but does it provide some sort of cover for any of them at all?
No, there's nothing that it would relevantly block line of sight to. I mean, in theory, it would block line of sight to other lats, like, because the whole silhouette.
I guess it could if you're up on a building and you're behind it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're on a piece of terrain and it's like right there next to it, sure. Kind of niche.
Whenever you're handling that half of a POI point because of the terrain doesn't work.
I think the lat is actually in an okay spot as far as like bringing the vehicle. It's decent enough damage. It's cheap enough. You might want to consider bringing it. Especially if you kind of want to do a slightly cheaper than the Gav for the slingshotting something. Um, I'm not so sure that I'm loving the fact that it's very similar to the T-47 airspeeder, snow speeder. Um, White surging saves just don't cut it. Armor 5 though, so it will again. Why rebels? Why poor guys can't win. You get armor 3, they get armor whatever. But here's I mean look at this glass front. I mean like anybody well, why is this armor 5 guys? Guys, I mean just you shoot it from the front and the pilot's dead. It's just glass on the front. The snow speeder doesn't have glass. Well, I mean, it's got a little cockpit, like little tiny little visor thing. This thing is just like a window. Okay. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
I don't know, man. The ATRT has armor 2, and the guy's literally exposed. So
Yeah, exactly. So they
that
get
doesn't make
one
sense.
more armor than the guy who's literally
Yeah, it's the cockpit.
riding.
Yeah.
That's
That
just
little
one.
webbing around the front windshield, that's Beskar, dude. Come on.
Oh, it's translucent
Yeah.
Beskar.
That's why it's red
Only
save. That's why it's red save.
No, but anyway, the lat's fine. Fine. You know, with the armor 5 and cover 1, it's going to be doing okay. It's just that the white save just feels pretty bad. I think that these expensive vehicles really, I would have preferred them to go non-surging reds, but that's just sort of me. I think that all vehicles should feel that way. That way they kind of stick around for a little while. That's yeah.
Okay, then. So we'll go ahead and talk about Major Marquand and the normal ATST. And it looks like Major Marquand still is basically the same, and he's got Armor 5, Arsenal 2, Direct Vehicle, which is awesome still, Field Commander, Weak Point Rear, and you can still only take him in Tempest Force, and he still has all the best fixings that you would see normally.
Yeah.
And then just to finish up, we have the normal ATST, which we always have had. It's, armor 5 instead of full armor. Arsenal 2, weak point rear. Still has a double rainbow, range 1 to 4, 4 in melee. And we still have General Vice that you can attach, right?
Yes. Yeah, it still exists.
I didn't see it go away.
Yeah, I was just thinking about putting General Vice on the ATST to get that, Arsenal 4, and you could use Veers.
Yeah, not Tempest yet.
Yeah, can you imagine Veers putting a standby on General Vice?
Oh, boo!
But
It's
you
not
can do
that
that in
busted.
Blizzard.
It's okay. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, Blizzard gets that. The biggest fear for something of an ATST is no longer Anakin fire support with an RPS. It is now Impact 7 Black Suns. Because of the new Impact Grenade and the Magnet. That's Impact 7.
Yeah.
And to get the impact 4, you don't have to give 4 guys grenades.
Yep. It's just
You
one
can
guy.
you give 1 grenade, and then everybody else keeps their better dice.
Yep.
So
And it can
that's
be
cool.
used in melee now too.
As it should. Because I'm blowing up grenades right at my toes all the time, and I'm fine.
Yep. But hey, stocks go up on the lat, right? They're immune to range 1 weapons.
True.
Sure. Yeah, we'll say they go up a little bit.
Just this much.
It's now just hover air 2.5.
And
It's more than a land speeder, and it can still transport.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the good stuff now.
so skipping that.
Well, we aren't talking about CIS just yet. All right, so we've got Padme Amidala now, and she's got Bolster 2, Agile 1, Inspire 2, Nimble, and Sharpshooter 2. So still all the 2s. And now she's got 3 red in her blaster, which is range 1 to 2. And so now without Exemplar on her, do you think that she's going to be used now more often?
No.
Yeah,
the
I
long
think
and the short of
so.
it. I think no. I think she will be used. I don't think that she'll be used to the extent that she was before. I
That's
don't think
fair.
she's
Yeah.
unplayable. I think you definitely want her gun if you're gonna bring her, because like just
hmm
red, white, pierce 1, range 3. That's gonna be a lot better. Sharpshooter 2. You're always plinking off of damage. If you get into a shooting war, because she's got agile, nimble, moving and shooting. All good stuff. Probably her job is genuinely going to be to do your secret mission. I think that like if you're playing her, like she is going to give your opponent something to think about while she runs around the sideboard, grabs that secret mission, gets you a free VP, and then goes into the back lines and starts harassing the things that you didn't finish off but need to get those kill points on, right? She's sniping out that one wound on that one guy at like towards the round 4, round 5. Because round 1 and 2, she's like, why would you even keep her near your army, really? So I think it's going to be a change of play style with her, which is maybe refreshing.
Yeah.
And then dropping from 85 to 60 points. I feel like some people will still do it, but yeah, just without Exemplar, without quick thinking. Yeah, she's strictly going to be there just to grab that secret mission.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why they got rid of both. Like, I could see getting rid of Exemplar or Quick Thinking if they didn't want her to be, like, super support anymore, but now she just hands out 2 surges as she runs away to go do secret mission.
Yeah. Well, same thing for authoritative too, right?
Yeah.
That's going out the window.
All right. So next we have Yoda. Yoda has a guidance trooper. He's got Ataru still, deflect, immune to pierce, and master of the force 2. So
It
deflect
went down 20 points.
Yeah, went down 20 points. Everything is still the exact same for him, except now deflect is just automatic because deflect is awesome to have. It's better than block, almost, at least, because you don't have to spend the dodge to get the surge to block during ranged attacks. But melee, I think that kind of sucks as well for Anakin because Dimso now is also a little bit different. Now, you don't have to spend the dodge, but the attacker now has to have a blank for you to be able to give them a wound.
He's going to be less good into red melee like lightsaber duels where he would used to just kind of you don't want to fight Anakin because you're just going to take a wound every time you activate and you swing at him, right? Because he's going to have defend 1. I mean, he's going to do that. Now it's like, actually, if you aim and attack Anakin and you're re-rolling red dice, I mean, like, do you even take a wound? Like, does Demso actually proc? Probably not. However, I think net positive on that is just, and we'll get to him, but which is just the rest of his card is just so much beefier. It's like Demso being a little bit weaker is like, who cares when the rest of the card got so much stronger.
Yeah. So,
but to go back to Yoda for a second, the biggest I think thing that we're gonna like again that for Yoda is the buff that he got is the indirect buff is that guidance. Typically, you're giving people a move. You're trying to proc relentless. You're trying to proc steady, and then now with the ability to have those moves cover a range band, guidance got even stronger, right? You can have their unit start at range 3, guidance them, and now have a range 2 attack at people, and that's really, really, really good. And so I think we're going to see a lot of or charge, right? Like guidancing a charge, double move a unit. To get him within range 1, and then he just guidances the charge in, stuff like that. And that would have worked if you were, just doing straight line move. So kind of a stealth buff for guidance, just in a little sense there.
now for movement, and to start the movement, you still have to put them inside the movement
Yes.
tool? Okay.
Movement tool goes all the way up against the base, but now you pick up and you place it, and as long as it's touching the tool, it's legal. And the huge change for that, obviously, is that because you don't have to notch it back into the top end of the base, you now put it on the prong, and that gives you an extra millimeter and some change of movement because you're now on the tip of the prong, and that's what gets you that. You used to move 5.9 inches or like 5.98, like so close that like it, but it's just shy. And of course, when you're playing with intention, you tell your opponent, I'm exactly range 3 of this guy. And then when they say cool, right? That means that when you go to activate, if you have a range 2 weapon, you cannot move and shoot me. It doesn't matter if you've measured it. We talked about it. We agreed that we were range 3 from each other exactly. So now we know that it's a margin of error. You can't hit me at range 2. So that playing with intent and integrity is no longer really a worry for range 2 weapons and range 3 weapons. You just cross that range band. So I think the thing that's gonna change the most with that change. Oh, I hear a lot of typing, Grant.
Sorry.
Graham. Um, got that mechanical keyboard.
Mhm.
But yeah, so back to the point. So guidance, moving range 2, range bands matter a lot more. Guidance, I think, is going to get it stronger. And so, yeah, force push went up. Maybe play a more defensive Yoda, a more like tactical commander Yoda. Overall net positive, going down 20 points. Love to see it. Because I think I'm running burst barrier and force guidance on him as my 3 force powers. I didn't really need force push. I can give him disengage on my 1 pip. So like I don't need to be worried about being locked up in a melee. So yeah, he's feasting. I think Yoda's going to become even stronger.
Yeah, I really like that
And
a
then now
lot.
we can talk. And now we can talk about Anakin.
Yeah, so Anakin has jump 1, charge, deflect, Dimso, which we kind of talked about a second ago. He's immune to pierce. He's got Master of the Force 1 already, which is pretty great. And then Tempted is now completely different. So Tempted, if a unit of yours is defeated while at range 3 of Anakin, you can either make a speed 2 move or a free attack. But that's charge is not whenever you have Tempted, like whenever you make that free move from Tempted, you cannot trigger charge because it's just a speed X move. It's not making a move action.
Correct. It's not a standard move, so it doesn't proc charge. But if you are getting free moves on Jedi, I mean, like, does it like? Yeah, you don't get charged, but like, let's be real, you're okay with that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a speed. It's a full speed 2 move.
Yeah, and with his 1 pip, he gets a free jump 2. So basically, you could do the free jump 2. You get 2 attack actions, and then if one of your strike teams, which is going to be the best thing to trigger Tempted, goes down, well, bam, you get another attack, which is like your 3rd attack, or a free move to get into melee with somebody, which is also nice. Now, I'm assuming you cannot trigger push after that move, right?
No, it'd be like guidance,
Okay,
where it's kind of like happening outside of your activation.
got you. All right.
Although that there is one way. It's if you lose a friendly unit to a standby because Anakin triggered it.
But if
Because that would
Anakin triggers
happen-
the standby, then he's got
But
to
he
be
can
the
still
one
do
attacked.
the move. Well, no. Did they change how standbys work? That you
Yeah.
have to attack the thing that triggers the standby?
Yes.
Yeah. Never mind, I missed that one.
So that is the one.
Yes, standby got nerfed, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of his card is so good.
Yeah.
Tempted is powerful. Starting off with Master of the Force is insane. I think that he's the only Jedi, in my opinion, where I don't see you giving up Force Push. I still think that Force Push works just fine on him. He was undercosted before, right? So, like I think it's still fine. And once he's embedded, right? With Tempted and Force Push, it's going to be incredibly difficult to keep this guy out of your lines. And he's just going to be doing a lot. And he starts with Surge Crit. He starts with Master of the Force. He starts with Charge. It's not relentless, so no more Saber Throw shenanigans. But Fire Support's gone, so it didn't matter, right? And nobody was using Saber Throw without Fire Support. So he starts with all of his good stuff. He lost Defend 1, but Deflect is automatic. And so it's just he's feasting, right? Like this guy is going to be nuts. I think that the command cards are also incredibly good, which we'll see in a second. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
we're probably going to see a lot more Anakin than before. And you already saw him a lot before. So,
Right. And now Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan has Jump 1, Charge, Deflect, Guardian 3. He is immune to Pierce. He's got Master of the Force 1 and Sorisu Mastery, where he can re-roll all of his dice, not just like some of it, but he can re-roll like we were talking last video.
Mulligan.
Yeah. And that's going to be amazing to see. So those are your Jedi. Those are the 3, I think, amazing guys that I hope to see on the table a lot.
Important note: Guardian allows you to back up. Just everybody, just remember that. So now you have a 150-point Obi-Wan Kenobi who gives backup to Anakin. We'll just let that drift.
That's gonna be a good combo, I think. So next up we have R2D2 is the exact same for
Beep boop.
Republic, and the only core right now for Republic is the new Clone Trooper Infantry, which is basically a Phase 2, and that's all it is.
A cheaper Phase 2.
Yeah, a cheaper Phase 2.
But just a little discount, just a tiny discount.
I think 2 points or so.
It was
What?
60, so it's 4 points.
Okay.
Yeah. I think four well-earned points off because though they are Courage 2 and Reliable 1 and all that good stuff, and they got all the great things, I think that they're just slightly less durable than they were before with the cover change, in my opinion. Especially considering that you're not gonna be getting one suppression and then getting the benefits of cover, of bumping cover. They have to be suppressed in order to gain the extra cover. So because of that, they're gonna be just a smidgen squishier. So 4 points is, I don't know what percentage that is. It's like 8% cheaper, 7% cheaper, something like that. Yeah, probably fine.
All right, and then so next up we have ARC Troopers. So we have Charge now on ARC Troopers with Tactical 1. They
and
are
guns
also
in melee.
Yeah, now they're pistols. These guys have guns that they can use in melee, and they have
sure do.
helmets. I mean,
but they don't have they don't have blinding visors. Okay.
Okay.
That's what it is. I'm telling you.
Look,
it's the helmet.
They gave up their rifles for that melee.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They don't have range 3 anymore, but it's okay because if you shot them at range 3, they're gonna move and shoot you back.
With that aim. And sharpshooter.
Because that range ban, right? Get that sharpshooter, move and shoot them. So range 2's feeling a lot better than it was before. Range 2 used to feel like a death sentence, and it's not anymore. Yeah. Honestly. So.
Going back to the Jedi for a quick second, did we mention the one nerf to deflect?
It's single surge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only one wound can return now. It's not unlimited.
Yeah, you roll 5 surges, sends back 1, but it's free. So I mean.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
I have Velocity still works though, even if you don't have a dodge. It still stops deflect, so there you go.
That's right. But now also the ARC Troopers have scale as well, which I think is also new, making them a little bit more mobile. So do you even need to take the jetpack at this point?
If I would say maybe if you're going in on that church keyword, you might as well. because you don't know what buildings you're going to get, or because it'll still be, at least for that one move, you can jump over a building. But
So scale is important because that was E-gear, which was pretty popular before, right? People were like, if you, especially if you had 2 points extra. So scale is effectively a free E-gear because it's going to give you the ability to, you know, um, have the, what is it, unhindered? Is that the right word I'm
Yeah.
thinking of?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
think unhindered.
that's pretty good, and so that's 2 points, and then they got 8 points cheaper. So if you were running them before with E-gear, they've dropped 10 points, right, for the exact same card, like on that effect. I don't remember how much the heavy changed. I think the heavy went up by 6 points. So net 4 points decrease. Is pretty solid. So something else to think about with them.
Yeah,
just
I
wow, they're
really.
only 2 more points expensive than a core.
Yeah, I mean, like you're definitely playing arcs like in most lists now. I don't see a world where you're bringing 0.
Mhm.
Especially if you want an Echo Strike team, you got to bring one of the main ones. So now, although I don't think that I don't think we're gonna see as much Echo Strike team because he went up by a lot. Which I, I'll be honest with you, I think that that was 10 points increase for Echo is not the play. I know we have a 1,000 point list now. That was a mistake. He was fine. Yeah, he was an auto include, but that's okay. He's thematic. He's a good character. Like I think it's, and I guess that maybe they're thinking about putting the extra cost because now he gets to be slotted into maybe like large bricks of the core, like, and that's kind of spicy, right? Because you can put them into like a extended big brick of core, and then that echo is going to survive a lot longer. I mean, like, goodness gracious, how like, yeah, because you have a unit size of 12. Is it 12? Is max? No, 10.
Uh,
10?
it would be 12 in any combination that doesn't involve echo,
What is it? What's the new max?
because
Is it 11?
it's
A
4
commander,
plus 5.
4 guys, a heavy, and then the +5, so it's 11 guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 10 clones in between Echo.
Well,
Like,
that's the only one you can't do that with, just because he's still a leader, and all of the extra things are leaders.
uh, Echo's not a leader.
No, he is, but because he's a leader, all of the new upgrade for clones are also leaders. So you can't have 2
Well,
leaders in one unit.
the clone extra guys, that's not, and then the
Yeah,
heavy shouldn't be.
yeah, but Echo is a heavy.
He stayed a heavy slot. He
He
didn't
is
go to the
still a heavy.
commander.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. There's,
so one less. There.
yeah,
Okay.
but he's still 2 wounds, so it's
Yeah.
still
So
11 wounds.
yeah, and it just moves him to being the second to last killed instead of the last killed. So I guess it's still a net, basically, yeah, the same. Anyway, but I just don't see the 10 point increase being the play there. That was a mistake.
All right. And yep. So we'll skip the detachment because it's basically the exact same thing. So we have the saber tank, which is armor 5, arsenal 2, hover ground, outmaneuver still, and it's got weak points rear and side. It's 9 health, red dice still, and it's got a double rainbow with its heavy laser cannon, and then 2 ordinances you could put, and as well just a regular heavy weapon upgrade that you can put.
The
So
one change that I wanted them to have on this guy is I wanted them to give him a keyword that made him able to clone token share. That's my yeah, maybe goes up in points if that's the case. I don't even think so. I just, yeah, because like the outmaneuver is just such a dead keyword on him most of the time, and now with no exemplar, well, although could you exemplar to a vehicle before? I can't
yeah.
remember. I think you could. So
Yeah.
There is still the pilot you can take on it. That lets you
yeah, but
token share.
like,
Yeah.
that's like,
But the big thing is you have search to hit now.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're not being fire supported, so I suppose they feel like that's probably okay. Um, I don't know. I just that'd have been my one change is like to make all the clone units feel like clones since we lost Exemplar on our on Anakin and Padme. To really just say like if it's a clone model, right? Like even ATRT saber like across the line, maybe not the lat, maybe not the lat, but if it's a clone like model, like it should probably have had a keyword like that. I think that would have been really cool, and it's maybe a missed opportunity.
The other nice thing is it did gain a second ordnance slot, so
Yeah.
there's never a reason pretty much to take maybe the beam cannon now because that's a small dice pool, so maybe. But there's never a reason to take the 3-die black down with critical one because now you can take an 8-point version of that has high velocity and critical one also.
Actually, hold on.
That's two
Now
reds
that you
and a
mention
white.
it, that beam cannon did get better
It
because
is
also
15 points now,
yeah.
yeah, and it's 3 2-red shots. Range
All
4.
right, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. The transport,
The lat.
is the same thing. Yep. The Red Owl NASP Fluttercraft has attack run, and
This is
only
the
for the Wookiee
defenders one. Yeah.
But so I guess they still have one that you can bring outside, I'm assuming.
But you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't gain the attack run unless you're running it in the Wookiee Defenders.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think anything has changed. I think it's the exact same thing. So, awesome. So you have the ATRT for Republic now, which has red saves, no surging to defense, but surges to offense still. Scout 1, Expert Climber, it still has the critical 1, impact 1, rocket launcher guy, and the Flamer is going to be so much better on this guy. But that is really it for Republic. We can go ahead and get into CIS if you'd like.
Or did you want to
Let's do it.
quickly talk about the one upgrade for the one heavy we didn't talk about? Because 2 upgrades are sad because the lat just is still the lat and has worse pilots than the Empire one.
Oh yes.
The infantry support platform, you can't fire support it anymore. But it pairs up with its beam cannon, so you're doing still the 4 dice, but each one's now getting an observation token. It's still really cheap, so maybe.
But it didn't. It previously had armor 3 before, right?
Yeah.
So that just didn't change. It's gonna suffer from the same comment that I had before about white saves on armor 3. The clones that are driving it have better saves than the vehicle.
That's true. They didn't give it the ATRT treatment.
They literally said the logic in the stream was the guys wearing clone armor. Like what? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, never mind the ISP.
I guess they're wearing Scout Trooper armor, so maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
ISP's going so fast they had to take their helmet off, so instant light save.
Modeling for disadvantage.
Also, but that also means because it's the pilot, they lose access to their sometimes surge crit. They are only now surge hit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, now on to better things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about the T-Series. The T-Series has Bolsters 2, Direct, the Droid Trooper unit, and Exemplar. So that's the only new thing, I think, is Exemplar.
You're not bringing this guy.
Yeah. You have the Super Tactical Droid, who's got Strategize 1, Direct AI unit, Exemplar, Override, which doesn't have a specific range anymore, and then Sharpshooter. And I think this is the just generic Super Tac Droid.
So it is the generic super tac, but so they did a pretty big change on AI because now, as long as you're within range 3 of a commander, you don't have to follow your AI, even without an order.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, and of course it's also easier to get your order chain because it's range 2. So in the event that somebody is doing some weird like split off and go to this spot to do something, you just keep him in range 3 and visible to the commander. I think LOS is also required, but other than that, yeah, you're right. He's getting to override the AI. It's awesome.
And then they raised the T series by 5 points, but took away its sharpshooter.
They gave him exemplar, so I can kind of see a little bit,
And
but
they gave
I
him
mean-
surge to block too.
I
There you go.
hope people play him so that he dies in the first round of every game, because that's what's going to happen to that guy. You're going to be like, oh, I'm putting him in the middle of my army so that he can override the AI, and then, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, so increasing him
a
by
challenge. I can do that.
all right, let's do it. Bet.
increasing him
All
by
right, I'll do
5,
it.
but
I'll take
all
it
of the
something
super
big.
attacks coming down by 15, that feels phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're playing super tax, right? Like let's be real. 75
Yeah.
points, you get all the
You're
same
taking
benefits,
Kraken
you
on
get 5
Kalani.
health red saves.
Yeah, Kraken went down by 20 points, and he got 3 red die. I know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but yeah, 3 red die, lethal 1, range 1 to 3, surge to crit, sharpshooter 1, charge with lethal 1, and 4 reds. I mean, he had that. Oh, no. Did he? Yeah, he had the 4 red in melee before, but 3 red die, 1 to 3, lethal 1, surge to crit
With sharpshooters, nasty.
with sharpshooter. Yeah, Kraken
Kalani
gets
and
both.
Kalani and Kraken did lose one of their sharpshooters, so they were down from 2 to 1.
Mhm.
Sharpshooter 1 is still stronger than
Oh, yeah.
sharp, it's like, so it's not stronger than before, but I mean like it's stronger. It's stronger in the sense that like taking someone's heavy cover is going to be a big deal.
The generic got surge crit instead of surge hit like it used to.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, I think all the super attacks are incredible, and we're gonna see them a lot. And I don't think we're gonna see T series, like ever. I mean, maybe if you just couldn't fit the points, right? Like if there's a good argument, maybe I can see it. But like, ugh,
I think
I'm
the
not.
only place
Yeah,
we're gonna see
Rebus with 3 magnet
T-Series-
guards.
Yeah,
or now.
I think the only place we're gonna see T series is the experimental. That way you can have those extra surges.
Sure. Yeah, there's room there, I think.
But also, all these super attacks are insult to injury for the Civil War leaders that all lost Pierce, and these guys got to keep lethal 1.
Mm.
I was like,
Well, I guess they
why?
had to make one faction at least a lot better.
Yeah, of piercing leaders.
Well, we can go ahead and talk about him. Kalani's got Strategize 2. He's still got Direct AI. He's got now Exemplar. Reinforcements, naturally on his card. Did he have that before?
Mhm.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. And then Sharpshooter 1, and then Kraken as Strategize 1, Charge, Exemplar, which is new, Override, and Sharpshooter 1. Still great profile for fighting, more so than Kalani, who is, I guess, just directing everything. But
I mean, the blaster went up from black-white, like, as well. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
come on. Black-white to triple black. Like, he's actually going to be shooting.
yeah,
Yeah, I
mention
would rarely
override?
shoot with them because black white sucked.
Yeah. Did we mention override changed? So now it's just range 5?
well, I just said it didn't have a range on it, but yeah, range 5. So that's
Yeah.
huge. That is.
Yeah.
There's no point for AI.
Massive
What's the point of AI then at this point?
flavor text.
No, what so the change, and this is the good change, is that before you saw a lot of CIS players who would just like tuck their leader in the back and then they'd stay at everything and they go, here's my command chain, right, every round. And then the guy would just like not really do anything, right? It was an uninteractive piece. So what they basically did was they said, okay, so we're going to change this A. I think we're going to encourage you to stay range 3. We're going to increase the range to 2. It's going to allow you to spread out your guys, but you're also going to want to play with this piece. And I think that it's a good change.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right, so we have Poggle the Lesser. So Poggle still has his free jump 2. He's got Compel, Separatist Alliance Troopers. He's got the Entourage B2s. He's got Override again and Weight Down. So I don't think there's really anything changed there.
It's just the change.
He got
Just the-
ever so slightly cheaper.
Gotcha.
Woohoo!
Hopefully this
Count
means
Dooku.
we're getting an improved fun fact.
So good. Count
That means
Dooku's
we're
so good.
It means we're getting a what, Sunfac?
Dooku got way better.
Oh no! Hopefully this means that with them redoing cards, we're going to get an improved Sunfac when they get to the rest of the stuff. So it's not so paper thin.
I hope. But we have Count Dooku. So Count Dooku has Cunning, Deflect, Direct Trooper Unit, which is brand new and I think going to be way, way better. Immune to Pierce, Makashi Mastery, and Master of the Force 2. Still no charge or relentless except for his command cards. He's still got 5 red lightsabers, and his Force Lightning is 6 black, still surge to crit. He's automatically surging to defense. Was that normal? Was that the
That's
same last
new.
time?
And that
Yeah.
is the
That's
banger
yeah.
of a change.
It's great. I loved it.
Jeez.
He actually is the one that I think which is very very maybe in Star Wars fashion. If you're 1v1ing an Anakin, this is the guy I want to 1v1 Anakin with. Demso is not going to proc particularly often because you're all on 5 red search crit dice, right? So you're not getting a lot of blanks in your pool, and you're Makashiing that attack. And when he goes to clap you back, your surge block like 6 health, like you stand toe to toe. Like, I mean, this. I'm just saying. I think Dooku's pretty nuts now, and he's only 5 or 10 points more expensive than Anakin. Yeah. So that's a change.
He gained a black die.
He gained
He
the
was
black
fine.
die and suppressive.
Yeah,
on
his Force Lightning did clean it back there.
Holy crap. They better make an amazing
And still
Palpatine
retain
then.
scatter.
Right?
Yeah. Jeez. He's really good at this point.
Yeah, but his card was like super, super excited. He has 3 Force slots, but I mean, sure, cool, I guess.
Now you
You
can
burst
actually use all
speed.
three.
I mean,
Right.
you're doing you're definitely
fair.
using burst of speed as one of them. Like,
with unit size,
but
you probably take a choke again
Mm-hmm.
because you might as well.
Yeah. Choke, barrier, burst of speed. Or you could do
Yeah.
maybe choke.
I don't think we're
choke
seeing
versus
push.
speed saber throw maybe.
Not for him with his command cards. Yeah,
Nah,
I
you don't need
agree.
push anymore.
Who cares?
Because that scatter's already going to kind of force
No more
them
force
forward.
lift. Boo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think you lean into the Master of the Force all that much. I don't think he cares. Of 2, that is. I don't think he cares, but I definitely think that if you're worried about like super aggressive Anakin's like charging into you, just put Dooku on the table, and then they're like, actually I'm gonna chill back here. like that's because they will just die. Like he's gonna win the duel. He's actually piercing through. So.
Yeah, I'm scared to fight him. But then you have Grievous. Grievous has block. He now has Entourage, Magna Guard, Immune to Pierce, Jedi
Or
Hunter.
Magna Guards.
Yeah, so 4 Magna Guards now in one list. So that Invasion Force just got a lot better. And still has Scale, Relentless. No Arsenal 2. His lightsaber attack now is just a 2 red, 2 white, 4 black. A lot of dice. And then he still
Yeah, it's
has...
essentially giving you the 2 lightsabers together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the same profile. They just now you don't do the weird like splitting and wanting to use a DAC or the gun and like I don't know.
He gained critical 1 on the lightsaber, I think, right?
Yeah, critical
Oh,
one
When
on the
he had
lightsaber.
anti-surging. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, critical.
And for some reason, he lost Arsenal too, but he gained melee on his pistol.
He had it before.
Okay.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
pistol had it previously.
Versatile.
I think one of the things that I find to be funny, so he's got the equipment slot now. So realistically, you wouldn't. I mean, sure, you could use it on his pistol, but give him. Oh well, hang on. I'm misspeaking. I was gonna say give him targeting scopes.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, you could give him
Oh,
Mo
yeah.
push and targeting scopes. Yeah,
His
why
pistol
not?
could always be used in melee, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're right. Huh.
But yeah, I mean, if you put like offensive push on him and targeting scopes, like that's a pretty good profile to have on a charge. Oh, he doesn't have charge.
He's got
Relentless.
relentless though.
He just has
Oh, that's right.
relentless.
That's right. Relentless.
He's
My
always
bad,
had
my
that.
bad. Yeah.
So
But yeah, so the to me, I think he's doing great. I think that the fact that the Magna Guards are gonna give him defend or whatever backup. Sorry, still getting used to that new keyword. The fact that they're gonna give him backup and Guardian. I mean, he's getting in there unscathed. He's 20 points cheaper, and he wasn't being taxed for force push before, so he got the points drop that all the Jedi got, but he didn't like get the one change that like the offset for most of the Jedi is that they took force push, they increased it 30, and then they took most of the Jedi and they dropped them 20. So like if you still wanted to take it, you're gonna just be like plus 10, right? Like that was sort of the logic there. He went down 20 points and didn't take it before. So and he's got the you know to me
and got
just a
critical
better
one of his
profile.
lightsabers.
Yeah, to me he's just got a better profile. So
Mhm.
I
Way
think
better. I like the change on him.
yeah, I think that's a great change.
So,
One of the things that I thought I misspoke on, but so the initial train of thought with the targeting scopes does not say you have to have a range attack. It's just precise one. So you can now reroll an extra on his lightsabers as well. It doesn't
Yes.
just have to be with his pistol.
And that's important to be fair because with a 2-4-2 pool that he's got, you're going to want to re-roll 3 dice. Like that's guaranteed. Like you're going to have 3 blanks on that pool every time. So even with the surge to crit. So that's going to probably mean that you're going to have a good chance of getting 8 hits with Grievous if you have the access to that. So I think it's cool. Like offensive push and scopes is only plus 10. So you're basically getting all of that stuff at 10 points cheaper than what he used to be costed like naked.
and if you were to take him with 4 Magna Guards, you have to deal 11 damage before he has to roll a die. Because Guardian 8 and Block 2.
Good lord.
Or not Block, but Backup 2.
Why did you put that into the world? Why did you say that?
Chaos.
Where's the
Good.
Elmo meme?
He's
The Elmo
gonna be
is in hell.
That was my biggest argument all the time.
Uh,
No, it's more like the Kermit meme. Old Grievous
the
to new
dog.
Grievous. Glad he's 130 though.
Yeah. It's a welcome change. I like Grievous a lot. I've got a statue of Grievous in my living room, and he's such a cool model. And it sucked that his character was so iconic yet not so playable.
Uh,
But anyway, yeah, good stuff.
All right. So now we have the core. It's the B1 battle droids with AI attack and coordinate droid trooper. Everything is pretty much the exact same. And then the B2s have AI attack as well. And
No more armor.
No more armor, but they cashed it in for some red saves.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Which
And
is awesome. Great change generally.
absolutely.
yeah.
And their cannons are now
Oh yeah, and
melee
wrist
to range
rockets.
2 and 2 blacks. Oh yeah, and watch those wrist rockets.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah, if they get into range 1, that's pretty spicy. But you know, they're still deadly in range 2 and and melee range. Red saves, good change. Glad to see it because B2s were just not getting taken enough.
Do you
Now
want
they
to
did go up 19 points.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect.
Do you guys
They're
want
they're
I'm
like
glad to
they're
pay that for red saves. I'm
yeah.
glad to pay that.
Yeah, it's such a good change.
Yeah, I'm good.
2 health per model, so it's like, because I mean, if you think about it, you get 5 health for 56 points on clones, right? So you get 5 health, 56 points. These guys have 6 health. That's basically on. That's just like following the curve for clones. So it's a good change.
If you want to follow the chaos, you can get these guys up to 16 red saving wounds. And ones get to 14 wounds.
Changes. CIS stunks going hard up.
All right, we need to
Good
stop
night.
putting ideas out there into the world. This is getting out of hand. I don't need this in my life.
See, taking that T series is more and more appealing when I just have things I can just guardian it or back up it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, and actually that's another relevant thing. They're a core with courage too, which means they're going to be providing backup more frequently. So that's another important thing to mention.
Next up, we've got the BX series droid commandos. They've got Jump 1 now, AI, Dodge Move, Impervious, Scale, Scout 3, and Sharpshooter 1. And I think their weapon profile and stuff is still the same. And then the detachment is about the same. Red saves, yeah. That's. But didn't they have red saves before?
They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red save before, yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
He's lagged out.
well, next up we've got the Magna Guard.
Jump 1 is the biggest change.
Oh yeah, they did gain jump 1. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Good change.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's so much better now because they can just be way more mobile. So that offensive push is gonna be amazing on them.
Hell yeah, you know it. I mean, you can see it in the Archon too. They're just scaling that motherfucker.
Yeah. And then we have the Magna Guard, which have AI dodge move still, charge, immune to melee pierce only, and these are the special issue experimental droids ones, and they're unhindered. Did they just go down in price or something?
Yeah, these are just the inferior ones.
Okay. And then lastly, we've got
experimental.
Yeah, he's not
Right.
wrong.
And then we have the vehicles. So the battle tank has AI attack still, armor 5, arsenal 2, barrage, hoverground, and weak point 2. Did anything change on this? Just the points?
Yeah, I think it was just. Oh, they now have surge to hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, surge hit and drop 10 points.
And impact 2 instead of impact 1. That's it.
Oh, right. It's just better all around. You're gonna see it more, straight up.
Okay.
Separatist Invasion is going to be one of the top list.
I
Call
agree.
it now.
Dooku Invasion is gonna be nasty good. Like, yeah,
Dooku double AATs.
yeah, double AAT, Count Dooku, Invasion, big packs of B1s, get a couple repairs in there. Big line of sight blockers running in. I think it's gonna be it was good before. Like you could people could actually still play. It sort of got slept on. I think people were just more on the experimental list, especially at Worlds and stuff. But like Invasion is still decent, and I think it's better now.
Absolutely.
One thing also to note for the Magna Guards that we have here, because they're only core for list building. For the Magna Guards that we've got here, they're only core for list building when it comes to experimental droids. So they doubly don't get to defend a commander now. They've lost their guardian for that force, and they can't use backup.
So
yeah, you're not taking them in experimental.
Never seen them.
There's no point for them, I feel like, at this point.
No. Especially when the heavies didn't get touched for them.
Oof.
Well, their rocket launcher went.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the glow up for the snail droid.
Yeah, so the snail droid, there we have the two of them. Let's see, you've got the Armor 5, Arsenal 3, Direct Droid Trooper. This is for the, I'm sure the experimental droid. Yep, and then
Yeah.
programmed reposition. The other one is still Armor 5, Arsenal 2, not Arsenal 3. It is still programmed, still has reposition. It is a transport, unlike the other one, which has direct a core trooper unit. And yeah, what are the big differences here?
So for the experimental one, Arsenal 3, well, it dropped 15 points. It gained an armament slot, and it's Arsenal 3. So, like, that's
Old one
crazy.
had Arsenal 3 still. I think the only difference was the
Oh, sorry, the
was the
experimental one had Arsenal 3. You're right. But
yeah
but the extra slot so that you can rotate your armaments is really, really good. I love that.
yeah, and then your normal heavy blasters on both the experimental and the standard snail both got critical one now.
Which is
Which
huge.
yeah, rolling 1 red, 2 black, 2 white. Feels good.
It's a surge to hit pool, which is good, but you're getting a couple extra crits in there, and on top of it, for me, like when you look at the fact that it dropped 15 points because transport got weaker is what I'm assuming that they were thinking there, but like okay, I mean I'll still just run this as a tank. Like it's pretty darn good. It's got armor 5. It's not going to be as durable as the AAT, but I mean, 11 wounds, so it does have extra wounds. It breaks on 1 more than that was before. I guess the only thing that you could say that's kind of not great about it is the fact that is the weak point is on the sides. So you are going to want to think about your positioning and always kind of keep it facing that way. But because of the reposition plus the change to the notch thing, you're going to probably not be giving your opponent your weak point like ever anymore.
You're gonna taunt them with it.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, look at my weak side. I'm just gonna reposition. Oh, you're gonna go to my weak side. Reposition.
You gotta be quicker than that.
You gotta be quicker than that. Yeah, I love it.
Pretty much the experimental one also got the base weapon profile back from the original version of the Persuader. So it got the impact one back on the range 1 to 2 gun. And then they pretty much just simplified the unique rule on it, and instead of command node, it now has direct core trooper, which does the exact same thing. It's just like, why didn't you do that in the first place? But hey, yeah, it's awesome now.
Yeah. Well, and lastly, I'll just quickly go over this random one with Chewbacca, Armor 5, Arsenal 2, Inspire 3, Incognito, and Weak Point with all of the fixings. You have the Ewok Slingers, which is a mercenary group for rebels only, I guess. Independent Surge 1, Low Profile, Target 1, and Unhindered. And the Ewok Skirmishers are still mercenary for rebels, low profile, and unhindered. And I don't think really much changed except for just like the mercenary core or mercenary rebels and the look. And then
they gained a second personnel.
Yeah, the Ewoks gain a second personnel, which is a big deal. It means that you can add the extra teddy bears without having to give up the trapper. And the Chewbacca went down 10 points, so he's going to be a lot more appealing. So I'm like I mentioned before about the horde armies, like there's going to be a lot of angry murder bears. It was popular before. It's gonna be even more popular now. The extra 200 points is just gonna be more bodies that you have to chew through.
And an extra
Thankfully,
$200
they're
out of your wallet.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, their unit size increase upgrade is only giving you 4 extra, whereas everything else is the base size plus an extra guy added onto your unit.
Mhm.
So you can only get to 12.
Only.
Only.
Yeah.
You
Only.
had to cap it at some point, you know.
But you
Only.
still have low profile. So, oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, these guys are nuts. I think we're gonna see a lot more Bright Tree than before. Like I think it's gonna actually increase in popularity.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that's really it. The AA5 for the mercenaries is the exact same as the other one. So,
They did get something.
woo! I feel like they need a little bit more help. But I'm excited to see what Black Sun can do. I'm debating him on getting another box for that as well. But there's just so much to get now. But what we'll do is we'll have to come up with another video to talk about the command cards and the upgrade cards if you guys are up for that as well. But
Yeah.
this is going to be Anakin is going to be so much better. 501st is going to be good. CIS is going to be amazing. And yeah, I think I feel like everything has gotten crazier for Legion, but also there's going to be so many insane lists that I don't know if I'm excited to see what comes out on top or how these changes really affect everything, but you know, I know that you guys have a few thoughts. If you just want to go ahead and do just a little bit of your thoughts, good or bad, I just kind of want to hear, you know, I mean, I think most people agree because I think I had a poll in here earlier that was asking for some, you know, are people going to be taking bigger unit sizes? And most of them said yes. Oh, well, sorry, more activations, I should say. And then, do you like the new Legion reworks? Majority of people have a kind of a positive view. So, besides the regular positive view, I would just a quick kind of like thought on the new changes. And I know that Kyler, I know you've got a lot, and I would like to hear just a little bit at least. But we can. Graham, do you have anything to kind of like talk about the new rules and stuff?
I'm mixed across the board, I'd say. Like, some things I definitely find very positive. Some things give me a lot of anxiety. But the only thing that I can say for myself, at least, that is very disappointing and is negative for me is the fact that factions are now getting their 4th core, and Republics gets smacked down to 1. And you very easily could have made 2 unique core because the armor was different. They actually performed differently. So there was room there. I don't know what was the challenges there. I'd love to find out, but here we are.
Well, I understand that. The reliable one and Courage 2 core, like, I guess is nice, but, you know, yeah, like you said, the armor was different. And
part of that is like personal because I painted my phase 1s and phase 2s to be 2 different legions. So now that they're the same thing, like, I'm not gonna lie, that is definitely part of my aggravation. It's something that I chose to do and they're now choosing to do. But yeah, it is what it is.
Grant, any kind of conclusions that you have?
Dovetailing a little bit off of like Graham's, like I really don't like the fact that I'm gonna have, even if I didn't run the full squad to where it's, those 10 or 11 clones, like I'm gonna have a base of phase twos because I prefer the aesthetics of phase twos, but then I'm gonna want to have my RSP, and he's just gonna have that little fin, so it's gonna kind of stand out. I think all in all, I'm mostly excited about some of the changes. I know probably a little bit contrary to what Kyler's going to say. I've been very anxious and nervous about breaking into the competitive scene, and I think amongst the chaos, I'm going to be able to like slide in a little bit easier than maybe before. So I feel like it kind of did a little bit of a level out as far as like someone new trying to get in, but there's too much to try to grasp in one. I know that's the big thing right now is like, okay, well, what type of list do we need to run, or how are we going to do it? And it's like there's too much to bring it all in. So
Okay. And Kyler, let's hear a few
Anthony
things.
can go.
Okay, all right, Anthony. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I think I'm leaning more towards on the positive side as far as more inclusion of units and the um I guess it's a little bit more enticing to bring units that you would not see otherwise on the table, like Fleet Troopers being one of them. They're really good looking models, so it kind of incentivizes people to dust off things that they haven't used in months or years, like me. Um, and I also kind of get it from the hobby side how it is a little bit annoying because we've had these standard unit sizes for God knows how many years, and everyone's kind of had them unique to their own unit. So like I have B1s that are a specific paint job for a specific unit, and they all serve their own purpose. Um, and so I get that part is a little bit annoying. And also kind of like what Grant was saying on the competitive side, if you're a new player like 3 months ago, this is like a shock. And it's just a lot more added things that you have to learn. Whereas 3 months ago was a little bit easier to kind of grasp, but now everyone's same footing of just this is all brand new, and it's no detriment to like more experienced players, but the more experienced players find things to exploit a little more, uh, and it's gonna be a little bit deterring to newer players. But I think it's a net positive overall. Units are getting upgraded. They're showing love to units that have seen less play. And I think overall the points increase is a really good idea. Whether they thought of all the kinks and all the ridiculous things you can do is probably up for debate. But I think there's overall net positive going forward. And I think once everybody's on a better understanding of the rules and how interactions work, I think it'll boost Legion up a little bit more.
But I'm very happy that my store did not start our escalation league already because now's the perfect time.
Hmm.
It will escalate.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kyler, what do you have? What's on your mind?
a lot.
Um, yeah, uh, there's a lot. You're right. And I'll say that I think change is good. It keeps the game new and exciting for people. You do have to worry about people who will look at any opportunity to see something like change for the worse, right? Maybe like a unit that they have that got a little bit worse, or maybe they like playing Inquisitors with double force push on the Inquisitors or something, and they're like, holy cow, I can't play that anymore. That not only didn't they get a points drop, but now so you're basically saying my kit just went up 60 points, right? And you're giving us 200 points, but they'll feel like more like everyone else got 200 points. I only got 140 points, right? Because of this change. So there are going to be people who have the negative thing. My negative thing isn't around a specific unit or anything. Like if everyone knows I play a lot of Yoda. If Yoda didn't get a points drop and everyone else did, I still would be playing Yoda at 200 points, and I drop force push, most likely, playing more of as a linebacker using guidance. I'll still keep playing the same game that I always play. Um, because when you're talking from a competitive standpoint, you don't want to become too attached to any specific model or play style. Like, you want to adapt, you want to like grow. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I think the negativity that people have is a little too soon. So I will complain about the things where I see them, where it's on a like a fundamental standpoint, right? Like, one complaint that I very much have the sentiment is that they got rid of fire support because they wanted to shrink dice pools, and then they add the ability to double your unit size, which is that not a fire support?
With keeping an active.
Yeah, and I've given this, and if people want numbers, right? You play 5s in a phase 2, and then you play a Z6 in a phase 1, okay? And then you put a extra bonus clone, like the one, like, just to add the 1 mini. That's 174 points, okay, for those 2 units. And then you fire support one, right? So that is going to be a dice pool of 18 dice off of a fire support. And people would have said, that's crazy. That's too good. That's too many dice. If you pay for the double your unit size upgrade and you put 5s and you put a Z6 into a unit today, you're firing the same 18 dice on 1 activation for 174 points. So it went 10 points cheaper, and you still keep an activation. Okay, so I'm complaining about the philosophy. If they were saying that the dice pools are too big, why would you have made that change? And then people might start to put on a tinfoil hat and say that it's to sell more models. I'm not going to disagree with those people. Yeah, we got somebody. Oh, two. How many more tinfoil? We have tin, and it's on.
All right.
There we go. So we got. All right. So everyone's wearing our tinfoil hat. That might be the case. Businesses are allowed to try to be profitable. I play Warhammer 40K as well. I mean, like, let's, most people, it's got all kinds of names, Wallet Hammer, it's just like, like, it's, so, I'm not complaining when a company tries to make money. But I don't think that GW is, my criticism would be that I don't think that GW is like trying to explain, like, oh, we're doing this for this and this and this. They just do the changes, and everybody kind of knows that, like, it's a game company that's trying to make money, and like it's sort of like the cards are on the table. So I just hope that their messaging gets maybe a little bit of like, oh, we wanted to do this. Well, then when people like myself find a way to break it and have these huge dice pools, are you going to say, oh, we made a mistake? And what are you going to do about that, right? What are you going to do about that mistake? And that's what I want to see. So, and because it's a new change, I'm going to say I believe that the company will eventually either pivot or do something. Like, if those doubling the unit size things turn out to be a problem for the game, it's really easy fix. They just say, okay, that upgrade is out. Where, like, across all those units, those upgrades are out. And for most players, that's not even going to really invalidate your purchases. You just turn them into real units, right? Like, it just splits the dice pools into more activations. So it's like nothing really lost, and I think that might be where the game has to go, or we might run into the problem of it still being a very very high dice pool dependent game or something like that. So, but anyway, so that's really my negative. But I think as far as the systems go, ton of really cool changes. The mission things, glad to see some new missions. Keeps the game fresh. I need to see more though. So we have 6. That's a great start. When is it gonna be 12? When is it gonna be 16? Or whatever. Like, because we're picking 3, and if I pick 3 and my opponent picks 3, and we probably overlap on 1 or 2, like we're probably only got like 4 different ones in our set. So that mean, and with banning, like, does that mean that are we back to the, like, we're only really playing 2 missions, right? Because it's, like, people are hesitant to play specific ones because maybe they're either too swingy or what have you. So we need to see more of those, but the foundation of the system that's been created is really good. And I think that it's so net positive right now. Got to play it. Got to try to break it. And I just want people to give, when they give the feedback, don't give the feedback to the company as like, you guys suck. Like that's not helping anybody. Like, give the feedback of like, I found this broken thing, explain how it's broken, and provide them that evidence, and then you're gonna get some actual change. And I think that yeah. So, but yeah, if anybody has broken things, just send them my way so I can rock a tournament with it.
Also, going over what you were saying real quick, be ready at the very least for core boxes to go up in price, like core unit expansions, because the soft plastic ones are $29.99 MSRP in the US right now, and the hard plastic ones are $39.99. And we already know that the ones that are coming out that they're remodeling are going to have more minis for the full maximum size you can have. So just be ready. We don't know what that's going to end up being. It might only be like a $5 increase over the hard plastic models, but it could be more.
Yeah, I just got some more phase
True.
2s in prepreration for that. For
Yeah.
Amazon Prime Day.
Yeah.
That
Buy-
way
buy
I
up
can
now.
get it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately, I've already got 8 sets of infantry. They're no longer phase 1s and 2s, so I've got 8 units. So I'm good. I can even double up some, and I'll be all right. But yeah, I think for people who were just skimping on, like, they have their one list, maybe consider grabbing up some minis early, and before spikes and hikes and things like that go. Especially if you're trying to get the Ewoks and B1s, like, holy.
Yeah, I would say for like B1s at least, or any other like phase 2s and arcs, Battle Force boxes are going to be really good value now to add on
Oh,
to
yeah.
whatever you already have existing.
Ecto base makes sense now.
Especially
Why they
Separatist
gave you
Invasion
6 of
Forces.
them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I guess that's the good thing about the Echo Base.
Yeah. You now can play all the models it gives you.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll be excited to talk about the upgrades and the infantry squad upgrade that allows you to add more minis. And kind of like you were saying, you did the math on the clones, and it's basically a fire support. So I'd like to see kind of how this plays out across the board, Empire and the rest of the factions. So yeah, that is it, guys, for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. I know I did, and it's helped me at least learn a lot about the new cards and the new units, basically. So hopefully this helped you as well, and we'll be back for another time. So thanks, guys, for joining. I really appreciate your input on all of this, and we'll get together again soon. And yeah, all right. I mean, I don't know any other way to exit, but all right. Deuces, everybody. Y'all have a good one.
Hey,
We will-
Tinfoil hats on.
Ah!